Not
That
of all
it.
days.
That ain't it. Of all days, we're gonna tighten the screws already.
Oh, damn.
The Dork Podcast. Rich Keefe. It's the Dork Podcast. Keefe Davey. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork, the most special episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Razzie Von Dazzy. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm feeling great. I am super. So I've seen you wear this sport coat before. You look like a shiny new penny, by the way.
Look at this.
I've seen you wear that thing before. It gives me like Peter Parker vibes.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Pretty sick.
I'm very jealous of it. You even get the pocket square and everything. I missed out on the pocket square.
Yeah, I thought I'd really class it up the place a little bit. So here we are. Now, normally a topic du jour that we do at the beginning of the year, sort of recapping the year, but we said, you know what? Let's give the people what they want. Let's close out. Actually, we have one more episode, but let's almost close out 2022 with a bang. Always one of the best episodes we've done. This is the 6th annual Hashtag DORK Awards, the Dorkies, right? I'm very excited.
Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bang, boom. Now, not to go negative, because this is a positive day. This is a very exciting day for everybody involved. I do want to just quickly mention for the future of the Hashtag Dork podcast.
Oh, yes.
I gotta address this. So there will be one, but unfortunately, the Gresham Keefe program has been canceled.
Fucking cowards.
Not my choice, but it has been canceled. I've been moved to the night program, and as you can imagine, that is when the Hashtag Dork podcast records. So we have to figure something out. Maybe Sunday night. Maybe
I have two ideas.
Let's hear it.
One of them you just said, and the other one is not actually my idea, but a friend of the program and our least attractive listener, Lucy Burge, came up with an idea.
What's your idea?
Friday night, 9 to 10. On air.
I bring it.
How about this?
Safe harbor.
Right.
No one's listening Friday nights.
Why not both?
You just got me taking a sip of my beverage.
Why
By the way, it's a very
not?
special occasion, too.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Laser beam! It's better than fireballs, you pussy!
So yeah, keep it cocked and locked to @Dork Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. We'll keep you posted. We'll work the kinks out. I think during football season, which is almost over, there is a national show that runs from 9 to 10 anyway on Friday. And then obviously once the Red Sox start, there's all kinds of baseball activity that kind of clogs up some of the night show. So we'll figure that out, but we'll definitely get you on the air. You'll be on WEEI, but we'll also keep doing this so we can do the YouTube stream as well. So those will be two separate things.
Well, I figured if we're on who's running the Twitch at that point? You know what I mean?
Yes, we have a lot to work out. So we actually have more questions and answers for you. I do appreciate a lot of people reaching out, whether it was email, DM, Twitter, whatever, saying, it sucks what's going on. And
and this is the last I'll say about it because I know it's a sore subject and I know it's not something we want to talk about, but people were reaching out to me. Thank you for everyone who reached out to me and asked me to do something. Like I got nothing for you, man. They don't even know who I am. So unfortunately.
The words that just kept ringing through my head the last couple of weeks were,
you're going to have problems, just like everything else. But stay positive and stay strong.
So I'm doing the best I can on that front, right?
Yeah.
That's that. So the future TBD, but yeah, maybe Sunday night is a spot for our normal episode, and then look for Davey on the radio as well. So that is that. We have obviously so much to get to in the topic du jour, but let's quickly squeeze this in.
This week in Dork!
A couple of things we have to get to, including the Scream 6 trailer. Scream 6 comes out in March, and we weren't sure what the name of the movie was going to be because Scream 5 was actually just titled Scream. And what they did, Rye, you take a capital M and you find a way to put a V and an I in there. So Roman numerals, it was right there in front of us the whole time. Scream 6.
I don't care for it.
I kind of love it. I kind of love it so much. I'll tell you what, one thing, and you know me, I'm the biggest Scream fan going. One thing I am not sold on, New York. I don't think they need to go to New York. It's Scream. It's Woodsboro. Keep it in Woodsboro.
Keep it in. Well, then there's that suspension of disbelief whenever you get into a horror movie. But like, how many mass murders in a small town can you actually have?
Well, at least 5 at this point.
Well, that's enough. I think that's enough.
That's plenty. Although they went to college for Scream 2. They were in college for that one. Then they went to Hollywood, right? It was like Hollywood 3. So they moved it around a little bit. Then 4 and 5 were back in Woodsboro. So yeah, I guess there's that. But so that one comes out. Looking forward to that, obviously. Obviously. A couple of DC news. And I saw James Gunn, who's now in charge of the whole thing, refer to it as the DCU.
The DC, it's not the extended universe now. It's just the universe.
I think DCEU got punted a while ago. I kept saying it, but I think it's now officially the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill officially out. There was a lot of, is he in? Is he out? What's he doing? They gotta Photoshop a cookie duster out for his reshoots and Justice League and all this other shit. He was in Black Adam in that what is now clearly a nothing post-credit scene because Henry Cavill is now getting out and they're going to go younger for Superman.
Okay. Do you think the Flash movie now is like critical? Like, do you think that that's going through like massive rewrites right now? Like, or reshoots? Like, do you think they have to like, because that motherfucker's still coming out. And what are they doing with Aquaman? And what are they doing with like all these movies that are supposed to be coming out?
I don't know. And like a lot of them are already made. And so Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, which apparently, now this was according to a Twitter report, the Rock turned down a cameo in Shazam 2. What the fuck?
I think he's out now too. Like he's got to be out now. He's going to be the next domino to go because I think he was really pushing for that Cavill cameo.
He was. He did. Yeah.
Now that Cavill's out, he's like, well, fuck that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think and I love The Rock. We all love The Rock. We grew up on The Rock, for God's sake.
Grew up on The Rock. Yeah.
This guy, what a mess. He pumped up Black Adam for so long, was saying that like the hierarchy in the DC universe was going to change.
Well, that's not a lie. He was not wrong.
True.
It's not the way we thought.
Yeah. He promoted the piss out of that thing, and then now he's like crickets because like it didn't make the amount of money that it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. They're recasting everybody. There's no want for a Black Adam 2. He wasn't even the best character in his own movie. Like this was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster.
And I think I don't think he was pleased with it. He will never say it, but he was not pleased with the way that it turned out. The movie seemed really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Now that I've given myself time to get away from it and just thinking of the writing of that movie, it was just kind of a weird, like it had like 3 plot lines and none of them kind of went anywhere.
It was it was for sure weird. So that's the news. All right, we have so many things to hand out. We're gonna bypass the Davies Video Game Minute because the very first award right out of the chute has something to do with that. So Ryan, without further ado, the 2022 Dork Awards, aka the Dorkies, it's the 6th time we've done this. So you can go back in the archives, the storied archives of the Dork Podcast, and find previous winners. We didn't add as many categories as maybe we should have because we have so many that we've done. So we're bringing them back. We're bringing them right back. And let's have you start. So this is basically how we do it for those of you new to the Dorkies. Davey and I each nominate 3, and then if there's any overlap, we go to like honorable mentions or whatever. So there's 6 nominees for every category. And then we're just going to talk it out right here. And we're going to crown a winner right here. If for some reason it's really, really split, or so say I have one and Davey has one, we both kind of make a case for it. And then we usually just pick one. If it's really split, what we can also do, Rye, is now that we're doing it with the live chat, you can jump in the chat, maybe break the tie. Like the first handful of people to write whatever one can maybe break the tie.
Ooh.
How's that sound?
It sounds good. It's just like should I have bought this? We need a tie break. We give it to you, dear listener. We throw it to you.
So Ryan, why don't you take it away with the first award of the night?
And I say this now, and I say this all the time. I hate the title of this award, and I wish it would change.
Well,
however, the Mario Kart 64 award for the best video game of the year, and the nominees are Cult of the Lamb, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. Now, I could say a lot about all these games. These are all games that I've played. All games that I've played to dare I say it, to completion.
Come on. That right? Wow.
I have. I even finished Elden Ring. But when you're talking about the best video game of the year, I mean, I think there's one that you and I absolutely agree on because it's one that I think that you're currently playing.
Yes.
But I mean, I do the Game Awards. Elden Ring is a beautiful, beautiful game. Now, but since this is my award and I get to give it, it is the award. It is the game that I enjoyed the most.
Okay.
As I played it, a lot of them out there, and I feel like best narrative. I like narrative driven stories, video games. So I'm gonna have to give this one to God of War.
I have no objection. It's the only game I've played out of this group, and I'm loving it. I'm like probably 11 hours in or so, so I know I still got a good chunk to go. But I am. I'm loving it.
I will say right now that Cult of the Lamb, Sifu, and Stray, or Cult of the Lamb, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic were 4 of the best. Like I don't want to call them indie games, but the best indie games I've played in a really, really long time. Really cool games, and Elden Ring is just fucking. It's gorgeous, but man, it's not fun.
So no, and listen, part of this should be fun. The video game should be fun.
It's fun.
So right, officially, the Mario 64 award winner is
God of War Ragnarok. And I accept that award on behalf of everybody at Santa Monica Games, at Santa Monica Studios, and everybody involved with it.
Well deserved, well earned. To answer the question in the chat, I am drinking a delicious 6 Seam by Idle Hands.
And by the way, it is a very special night, so I have a delicious hoppy drink that I can only drink one of before it goes very south.
Yeah, on the tummy.
Literally. And this is a golden lager from the good people of Jack's Abbey.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Framingham.
Left at my house. Framingham's own. Jack's
Very
Abbey.
good.
Yep.
All right, Ron, the next award is the Breaking Bad Award. That goes to the best TV show of the year. This is the most loaded category of all of them. We have a ton of awards to hand out. We've been saying it off and on all year that I can't recall a year of television that was so good and like in a wide variety of shows that were all 5, 5.5, or 6 out of 6 stone shows. It was loaded.
I can't. So the whole time I was thinking of my nominees.
Yeah.
I was like, this was the one I spent the most time on to not get yelled at, because in my head, I'm like, if I didn't nominate something, you were going to be like, how the fuck could you not nominate this? I'm like, this year, it's very hard.
I think
very hard.
There's a good chance that we have 6 really strong nominees that they're people's favorite shows from the year that we didn't put on there just because it was so good. And one show. So what I did was I made an executive decision because you had mentioned, or you'd given me a question mark on Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
Which I say is not a 2022 show. It bled into it.
Yep.
But the majority of the episodes came out in 21. And I think like 3 episodes came out in 22.
And I think you and I watched all of it in 22.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But I would say like those shows, I hate when a show comes out now because it's like, all right, what year does it go to? Because you got to do best ofs. And so, yeah, Yellow Jackets is a 21 show. So these are the 6. And then later this week, I'm going to tweet out both Davey and I's individual top 10 for both movies and TV shows. I figure for movies, let's wait until Glass Onion comes out because that might get in the top 10, might not. All right, so the best TV show of the year, 6 nominees are Andor, The Bear, Better Call Saul, The Sandman, Severance, and Stranger Things.
I'm only going to say this once this episode. What a crop.
Wow. What a crop is right.
What a crop.
Like you could go another 6 deep easy with
like Peacemaker, Barry,
House of the Dragon,
The Boys. Like none of them are in here.
Ozark. Like, people love Ozark. Yeah, none of them. Like, those are good. Those are good shows.
Yeah.
So Andor, The Bear, Better Call Saul, The Sandman, Severance, and Stranger Things. Every one of these, with the exception of The Bear, because we were both a little bit late to that, we did a standalone on, so you can go back in the archives and check it out. I'm torn on this. I could really be swayed anyway. My vote is for Better Call Saul.
I am also torn. The show I think I enjoyed the most is The Bear. I really like The Bear, and I'm really excited to see where that show goes now that the whole, I don't know if it's spoiling the ending, but like there's this new restaurant that's going to be made, and all winners.
You have all wanted. You're all taking home a dorky. No, there can only be one.
No, and so the one I'm gonna, because it wrapped and because it did.
Yeah,
it had some of the best writing. It's got to go to Saul because it ended. It was a perfect ending to that show. We did a whole standalone on it. I think we both gave it 6. I gave it a 6. You gave it a 5.5.
I think so. I think it was 6.
Saul it's a perfect show. It is absolutely a perfect show. So it's got to go to, that's my final answer for Better Call Saul. We should have like a little music when we're reading the nominees.
I know.
It should be honestly, like a little song or like a drum roll.
Believe it or not, I've had a lot going on lately.
It's been a lot roller coaster, I'm sure. Now I will hang on this for one more second. If you were to argue another show in this category, I would not argue with you. If you told me that Andor or Severance or The Sandman, which is fucking incredible, any of those shows, they're incredible. You're absolutely right.
I think any one of these, and then like I said, you could probably go like both of our top 10s will be a good list, and you can make a case for all of them. The one thing I would say we should have added this again in hindsight is the best single episode probably goes to The Bear in that one shot episode.
Single one shot.
Yeah, that was the single greatest episode. And there's the other thing, Atlanta. We didn't even mention Atlanta, but they had 2 seasons this year. One was not good. People probably didn't watch the last one because of it. But season 4 of Atlanta, you could make a case should have even been nominated. It was that good. So,
but I think the edge to Saul is because it was the series finale this year, not just the season. So
I agree, and they crushed it. All right, give us the next one, Ryan.
So the Nora Durst Award for the best TV character of the year. Again, wagon. The nominees are Eddie Munson from Stranger Things, real dark horse here. Lord Morpheus from The Sandman, Peacemaker from Peacemaker, Saul Goodman from Better Call Saul, Vigilante from Peacemaker.
He was great.
And Kim Wexler for Better Call Saul.
Oh, man. Yes. That is pretty loaded. And with the exception of Saul and Kim, it's the first time we saw any of these characters, right? I mean, Peacemaker was in the movie, but it's the first time he saw him in the TV show. Vigilante was new for the show. Eddie, really difficult joining that Stranger Things cast, which everybody loves, and still being like a bright spot in the season. Morpheus was so good. We both loved The Sandman, and he carried that show.
So what it would have been another thing too, the episode with him and the guy who lived forever.
Yeah.
I love that one. Best single episode of the year. That would have been. We have to come up with that.
This is a tricky category because I'm sure we missed plenty of really good people. I mean, obviously we did.
For me, for you, dog, I'm gonna say for a one and done character, we're never gonna have to say this name again, unfortunately. And the fact, and I know this to be true, he played the fucking guitar in the fucking best scene. He actually played it. Yeah. I'm going to go Eddie Munson here.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you. Again, I probably could have been swayed for anybody. I liked Vigilante. I thought
I did too. Fucking hilarious.
He made me laugh every time. And sort of like the Deadpool routine where it's like he's hilarious and then all like hyper violent, just over the top violent. But
so the other thing too that I really found fascinating is that like for a character who came into a show that already had 3 seasons and to steal every single scene he was in.
Yeah, it's wild.
Everyone like that's unheard for a show that's a tour de force that he owned that show that season.
Because Sadie Sink, I forget the name of her character.
Max.
Amazing. Max is amazing in this season. Lucas was really good in this season.
Yep.
Dustin's always good. Excuse me. But yeah, let's go. Eddie Munson. Stranger Things, winning the Nora Durst Award for the best TV character. All right, the Dexter Final Season Award, which goes to the most disappointing TV show of the year. The nominees are The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Pam and Tommy, Paper Girls, the Pentaverate,
Pentaverate,
and the Righteous Gemstones season 2.
So you never? I'm guessing you never saw the Pentaverate.
I did. You know what? I never got.
It was on Netflix. It was Mike Myers just playing a bunch of characters, and I figure like, okay, like if he's going to come back to doing this, like it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
dog shit,
not good,
absolute dog shit.
My vote though, it's so Righteous Gemstones. I like season 1, season 2. I just didn't care for it. That's why I put it on the list. Boba Fett's another one of those tricky shows that came out in December and then kind of so it ended like you saw it at the end of 21. I don't know if you count it as 21 or 22, but to me, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's most disappointing. It's not like straight out shittiest. It's just like we had such high expectations for Kenobi, and I was pretty much let down.
And I think the problem with Obi-Wan, I agree with you, first of all. And the reason why I think Obi-Wan takes this is they had, so you think like Boba Fett, I'm saying like fucking you now, I'm turning into you. If you think of Boba Fett, like they kind of had to make up a story for that character, right? But for me, Obi-Wan had so much to work with.
Yeah.
And they did none of it. Like if that show was just him planet hopping, right? And Vader chasing him. That's easy enough. But this whole side thing with Leia and like this other shit, like
the Inquisitors weren't as
you
good as
didn't need that. You could use the Inquisitors, but like I feel like all that it's the relationship between those two. And I feel like at the end they kind of I think it was episode 2 or 3 where you finally got them face to face and it was fucking awesome. And then that didn't happen until like the last episode. So it was like it was kind of you had so much to work with and you fucked it up.
Yeah.
So that's why to me this is the most, again, Paper Girls, whatever, Pentaverate, Righteous Gemstones was always hit or miss for me. Pam and Tommy I never saw. So
wasn't good.
It's got to go to Obi-Wan. And might I add, the Book of Boba Fett, even though he wasn't in the 2 best episodes, had some fucking awesome shit in it.
The high marks were incredibly high, but I never needed to see what Boba Fett would be like in local politics. I didn't need to see Boba Fett as a mayor. Yeah, I needed to see him as a bounty hunter, just killing people, kidnapping people, capturing stuff, going on heists.
But just the adding of like even the Jedi stuff with Luke and Ahsoka was so good.
Oh, it was awesome.
But also the addition of Cad Bane into the like
great.
That was that to me. Forget Luke, forget Ahsoka. Like watching Cad Bane show up, you're like watching, and like all of a sudden you see them, you're like, oh, that was like that was an all-time Star Wars like holy shit moment.
Honestly, he actually could have been nominated for best TV character of the year.
Oh shit, he really could have been.
Let's have it back.
we could do like a best cameo.
Yeah. He'd have to be up there. He was. Oh my god, was he great? All right, Ryan, you get the next one is an absolute heavy hitter.
This is a heavy hitter, and this one is again sneaky and all over the place. So this is the Dark Knight Award for the best movie of the year. The nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Barbarian, The Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Metal Lords, and Top Gun Maverick. Like that's something for everybody there.
It really is. And let me tell you right now, for preparation for this, even though I didn't, load in, music for playing us off and all that other stuff, I did watch Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick. So I've seen all the nominees.
I have also seen all the nominees.
And by the way, I think The Banshees of Inisherin, Barbarian, The Batman, I believe are all on HBO right now.
Correct.
Metal Lords is obviously on Netflix, and then the other ones I think you can
Top
get.
Gun Maverick, I think, is on Paramount Plus right now.
No, not yet. I think just first Top Gun is.
I bought it.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah.
So I have it, but and I think I rented Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right. So for me, the Batman came out so long ago, and you know me, I usually get swept up into recency bias, but I still don't think anything knocked it off the top tier for me.
See, for me, I would put that second.
Okay.
And I think my favorite movie of the year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And because it was so unique and it was so unlike anything else I had seen, and it was really goddamn good. And Waymond, you'll hear from him later, but the guy who played Short Round and Data from the Goonies, unbelievable
Powerhouse. Oh, he was great.
And before we, what did you think of Top Gun?
I liked it fine.
You liked it fine?
It's
a little too much for you. It's just balls to the wall. 80s action.
It's balls action. It's loud as shit. So like I didn't see it in the theater, which was obviously would have been a miss, but I did see it in my home theater, which is pretty legit. So like I feel like I got to at least experience like the sights and the sounds. I was close, big screen, all that shit. Tom Cruise is the last movie star. Tom Cruise is a dude. Tom Cruise is that dude.
Did you watch the thing with the behind the scenes, all the shit he made them do?
No, I read.
Oh my god! You got to watch it. You got to watch it. Miles Teller's like, this guy's fucked. I did. So the one thing that I would say with Top Gun, it was a little at times heavy-handed with the member berries and all of that stuff.
Yeah, no, it was, and like how they utilized Iceman in it was, I think probably as good as you could do.
Yes,
considering the circumstances. So no, I like the movie. I would have it 6th out of these 6. I fucking loved Metal Lords, but I did too.
But I forgot that again. That came out. I forgot that was this year.
Yeah, that was a while. That was probably April, maybe, or somewhere in there. So this is pretty. Goddamn. So I asked the chat because this is one of those times where we need your help because it would be a tie, like a 2-person podcast, a 2-person poll. I have Batman 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once 2. Davey
and I
has
have
it the other way around.
Yep.
So we literally, if we were scoring it, it would have the same number of points. And Jesus Christ, right? This looks pretty close too. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Everything Everywhere All at Once. We got like less for Batman. So you know what? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Some late Batman votes, but I think we're
late Batman votes. They're coming in now. They're like, "Oh shit, Batman!" But
2% of the precincts have reported. And I have no problem with this. Like this movie's so good. And in a year where Multiverse of Madness came out, and yet this was the multiverse movie.
This is the multiverse movie.
So much better.
And it did it way better. And I think this will get Golden Globe and Oscar noms.
Yep. It definitely has already gotten a bunch of Globes. And I assume it'll see fit. So very well deserving. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm curious to see where it goes on streaming and like what's going to pick it up first for free.
Probably HBO, I would guess.
I hope so. That'd be pretty good. So congratulations, well earned on the Dark Knight Award.
It feels icky not giving the Dark Knight Award to the Batman.
The Batman
feels a little icky, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and again, it came out so long ago too. I wonder if that had a little bit of a role in it.
And talk to me about because you last time we spoke, you did not finish the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, pretty good. No,
it's really good.
It's spoiler for my soon to be reported top 10, but it's definitely in my top 10. It's such an interesting premise, and without spoiling it, because I recommend it. Davey obviously recommends it too. It's like 2 guys. They live on an island off of Ireland, so it's like a really small place in the 20s. So not
right
like
after World War I. So the Troubles, as they call them in Ireland, are in full swing.
Yeah,
the Irish Civil War.
Yep. Yeah, right. And it's 2 dudes that one day one friend's just like, "I'm not your friend anymore. Don't talk to me," and the other dude's like, "What?" And then it's a whole relation, like how like the trickle down effect of that. It seems like very basic, and actually, it sounds like not even a movie, but you're so intrigued by it. And then some of the things that happen along the way, like it's so well done, and the acting's great. It's Colin Farrell, it's Brendan Gleeson, it's what's his name? Is it Barry? The guy from
Keown? Yeah. And for me, like they were, I got choked up a little bit. I was thought provoking, and I laughed, like legitimately laughed in 2 parts.
Well, so you had mentioned last week on the episode that you are going or went through something similar to this.
Yeah.
Did that make you feel even weirder watching the movie?
No, because I think the resolution to it at the end was like the way it had to be, you know?
All right.
Yeah, without giving it away. Like the
Yeah,
way
no, you
that
didn't.
ended is like
Yeah.
just like
Okay.
that's the way it is. Yep.
All right. On the other end of the spectrum, the Fear.com award goes annually to the worst movie of the year. And your nominees are Choose or Die, Firestarter, Halloween Ends, Marmaduke, Morbius, and Windfall. My guess is nobody has seen any of these movies except for Halloween Ends and Morbius. The other
Oh my
ones
God.
definitely you can skip.
Dude, so I watched Marmaduke with my kids because the cast
Oh yeah, one of
is
those.
so Pete Davidson is the voice of Marmaduke. So
How can I miss?
you would
Yeah.
think that
Right.
like he would just do this, like, you know, the writing was probably like I'm guessing like I'm going into this and I'm like, it looks a little weird, but it's probably like that kind of like Chippendale where it's
Oh,
kind of like
yep.
where it's kind of adult humor, but not because Pete Davidson is obviously the voice of Marmaduke. Dude, this was the biggest pile of shit I have ever. Pete Davidson probably worked for a day and a half, collected all that money. It's the worst animated movie I've seen in 20 years. It makes no fucking sense. It is the most joyless, stupid movie I've ever seen in my life. When you have a 5-year-old look at you and be like, "This movie's bad,"
Yeah, right.
like that was to me. That's the. But no one's seen that. But I think, in terms of just like what the fuckness,
Okay.
it's got to be Halloween Ends, right?
For me, it is.
It has to be.
So
It has
I've
to be.
seen. I last check. I think I've seen like 55 movies that came out this calendar
Yep.
year. Worst one. It's the
And, like,
worst one.
Morbius, you can even like laugh at.
Yeah, Morbius to me, and you know me, I like vampires, and like there's
Sure.
enough in Morbius where it's bad. It's real bad. It's a terrible movie.
Right.
But it's like, all right. Like I didn't feel like I hated myself after watching it, or like what the fuck did I do? Like we did a standalone on both episodes.
Yeah.
You can just go back and listen to those. Like Halloween Ends was just like comically bad, but not in like
not
a
even.
fun
Like
way.
I didn't even
not in a
think.
fun way.
Yeah, not in a fun way. Like Morbius was
Yeah.
dog shit and just whatever. But
All right, let's give it to the Fear.com award, the worst movie of the year, Halloween Ends. All right, Ryan, what do we got next?
so next we have the Jordan Peele's Us Award for the most disappointing movie of the year, and oddly enough, he's in his own category. So here we have the nominees.
Right.
Again, Nope. So
Mhm.
the Jordan Peele movie, Nope. Black Adam, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, Halloween Ends, and Morbius.
Okay. So, all right, again, most disappointing.
Yes.
You get it sort of like, so the worst movie we already know is Halloween Ends. But because Halloween Kills wasn't great, I feel like it can't be the most
Can't be both.
disappointing.
Can't
It's
be
almost, it's not the most disappointing.
No. I think the most disappointing for me, and I think, again, given the circumstances around the movie, it's one of two. It's either Black Adam or Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And I think where you had the way Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was pitched to us,
Yeah.
was that it was a Marvel horror movie. We saw Werewolf by Night that like you can do a Marvel horror movie. Like it can be done successfully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
This was not. And the fact that you had a horror veteran in Sam Raimi directing it, he went full fucking Evil Dead 2 on it. Like it was goofy. Like the music notes fight,
Didn't care for it.
the zombies and like the weird panning camera shit that he does. Like to me, I never had really much hope for Black Adam because it's kind of a bullshit character. So like I didn't go into it thinking that this is going to be a pivotal movie for the DCEU. I did think that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness would have more consequences to it in terms of like Quantumania, in terms of like what's going to come down in phase 4, but like it didn't really do anything.
All right. Great argument. I would and I'm not opposed to it yet. I would make the case for Black Adam insofar as we were talking about The Rock hyping this thing up for so long. And it felt like the DC had been sort of like the Suicide Squad was great. but there wasn't a lot of great things. And you're like, oh, if they can add The Rock to this, like, oh my God, The Rock was made for superhero movies. And he found a character that he loves. He keeps telling us that he's going to change the hierarchy of the DCU. He destroyed it. Like, it's over. Like, it's done. Nobody wants this character anymore. Nobody's asking for it. He has a cameo that leads to nothing. There's a nowhere Henry Cavill appearance. He's not even the best character in his own movie. No. And there's no real true tie-ins to the DC universe. So I think that was wildly disappointing. But I do think your point on Doctor Strange, where this one, there really should have been no debate that this one was better than the first Doctor Strange. And the first Doctor Strange was better. And they didn't even have all of the characters that this one had and all of the storyline and all of the potential. So I don't hate this movie, but I'm with you. It probably is the most disappointing. I think I'd sort of
like, I think of it in terms of like big picture. Like this matters in terms of a universe and how you introduce the multiverse. Well, they introduced it in Loki.
Yeah.
But you're really going to further that point. And then he just didn't do shit with it.
Yeah.
And the Bruce Campbell shit was so stupid.
Well, that's it.
So stupid.
You and me, we like Sam Raimi and we like Marvel, but I don't like them together.
And I'm not, and again, so this is most disappointing. So in my head, it's not bad, but it should have been way better.
That's a good point.
Way better.
Yeah, you put it that way. All right, most disappointing movie of the year, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Next one up, this one's a sneaky competitive category as well. The Scream Award, which goes annually to the best horror movie of the year. And the nominees are Barbarian, The Black Phone, Hellraiser, Scream, Smile, and X. And there was another handful that I don't think were bad too. Like this year, it might have gone almost 10 deep with horror movies that were pretty good. So these are 6 good ones. We did a standalone on Scream and Barbarian. And Black Phone? No, not Black Phone. Just Scream and Barbarian.
Black Phone. We did talk about Black Phone, and we also neither one of us have seen Terrifier 2 yet. So I haven't.
True.
Right. So
no, I'm not.
It's hard to nominate something you haven't seen.
Right.
Maybe we'll hang on to that one.
That could be good. I also really liked Orphan First Kill. That was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. That just missed out. To me, it's Barbarian.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was almost a 3-way tie between Barbarian, Black Phone, and X.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Barbarian was such a cool idea. And I honestly believe that this isn't the last we've seen of this universe. I think if there is a sequel coming, my guess is throughout that whole town in that suburb of Detroit or whatever, that there's just tunnels everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they said like, oh, everyone's leaving the neighborhood. So he's got all these houses that he can kind of get to with that guy who's, the guy. So there's other shit down there.
Yeah, I know the guy.
So, I mean, Barbarian was I thought it was going to be one thing and then it turned into something completely different. And it was a welcome. And I mean that in a good way. Like that was a super good surprise. Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't know a lot going in. I just knew sort of the premise of, a girl shows up to a B&B? No. What is it called? Yeah, Airbnb. Shows up to an Airbnb and there's a dude there and he's like, no, I'm booked. He's like, no, I booked it. And he's like, well, you can come inside. And you're like, don't fucking go inside. Like that's all I knew.
And right from the start, it was super tense. Like right from the start.
Yeah.
So you're watching a horror movie, so you know some shit's gonna jump off. You just don't know what. So that was awesome.
I did like the Scream requel a lot. Again, you go back to our episode on that. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job with it. Smile was pretty fucking creepy too. That was good. Mm-hmm. And then X was a surprise. That was a good one too. But Barbarian,
and you didn't see Hellraiser, did you?
I actually did. You know what? I didn't love it as much as some of the other requels or whatever you want.
But it was way better than it had any business being.
Yeah.
With I forget the name of the what they call those demon things, but
the Cerebites or what is it?
It's just something like but they're not like I always want to say xenomorph, but I know that's alien.
Yeah. All right, but so the winner for the Scream Award is Barbarian.
All righty.
This next one, Rye, you got to explain because the couple of these I wasn't sure, but I'll take your word for it. But go ahead.
The best comedy, the Anchorman Award.
Yeah, not that. Well, I'm just curious that you would classify them as comedies, but
Okay.
In this day and age, I think you kind of have to do that because there are no true comedies anymore. So go ahead.
Okay, so we have the Anchorman Award, Best Comedy of the Year. The nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Bullet Train, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Jackass Forever, Metal Lords, and The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
My one
Nicolas
question.
Cage. Yes.
My one question is the Banshees of Inisherin. I guess it could. I was just surprised that because I love the movie and there were parts that made me laugh, but I don't know if I considered it a comedy.
I think it's not quite like a black comedy, but I don't know what else I would call it. It's not really a drama. It's not really.
Yeah, like what is it?
What is it? And to me, if you're gonna pigeonhole it like that, Cenobites. Thank you.
Yeah, that's no, that's fine.
That's the only thing I would call it. Is it? But looking at this list, so the other one, the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, that movie is like situation. It's not like slapstick funny, but situationally, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That the premise of the movie is that Nicolas Cage gets invited to this billionaire's birthday party.
Okay.
As like celebrities do. The guy loves Nicolas Cage. Like he has like this whole thing in his basement. Played by
yes, The Rock.
No, the guy who's the billionaire is played by Pedro Pascal.
Oh, nice.
So those two together, and he's got like this whole Nicolas Cage shrine. He's got the two guns from Face Off, like in his house, you know, like all that shit.
Awesome. Yeah.
So he invites him to his like birthday party, basically. And he winds up being like a drug lord, and there's like the CIA recruits Nicolas Cage, and then he starts to think that he's like a CIA agent.
Got it.
It's so self-aware and so ridiculous. It's so funny.
Okay.
And so that's why I would consider that a comedy.
All good. I haven't seen it yet.
You will love it.
Okay.
And that to that end, there's a lot of funny shit here, but that is my pick for best comedy of the year.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yes.
So I haven't seen it, so it's hard for me. I can't really argue against it. Jackass Forever, I think I probably laughed the most out of the. So I've seen 5 of the 6 in this category, and I laughed the most at that one. But if you want to go with Unbearable Weight, I will.
No, you know what? I think.
Oh.
I do want to go with that, but let's give it to the chat. Let's give it to the chat here.
All right, so hit us up in the chat. Fire away. We've already got a few Jackass Forevers in there. Jason says Metal Lords has to win something. Actually, there might be something Metal Lords will win coming up.
Yes.
So we don't have to give it to it here. Metal Lords was funny, but the fucking music just kicks ass. So it's more even the music.
So fucking that
is funny.
We should do the Crow Award for best movie soundtrack, and that would whatever, or the Judgment Night Award. Because that's a fucking killer soundtrack
Judgment
too.
Day. Was it Judgment Day or Night?
Judgment Night.
With Schwarzenegger?
No, that's Judgment Day. Judgment Night was the one with it had like rock bands with rappers.
That was also, there was an album I had. It was Take a Bite Out of Rhyme, and it was a mashup of the two.
You got to listen to the Judgment Night soundtrack. Emilio Estevez, Dennis Leary, I think we're in it.
Judgment
it was a fucking
Night?
weird movie. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
real But the Crow Award for best movie soundtrack goes to Metal Lords. We'll give it to him right there.
Come on, dude. Let's see. Judgment Night soundtrack. What was the fucking movie? Oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? End of Days.
End of Days. That was another good soundtrack too.
The End of Days. Get ready for this. The End of Days soundtrack had, let's see, Korn, Everlast, Professional Murder Music, which I remember was a good song, Limp Bizkit, Guns N' Roses, The Prodigy, Rob Zombie, Eminem, Power Man 5000, Sonic Youth, and Creed somehow. They snaked their way out of that one too, just like they did with Scream 3.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Yeah.
This was a doozy too. I should have pulled it up as right. First thing that pops up is that House of Pain and Helmet did a song. Living Color and Run DMC, Slayer and Ice-T, Cypress Hill, Sonic Youth, Onyx and Biohazard, De La Soul, Teenage Fan Club. And there was a song that had Dinosaur Jr. and Del the Funky Homo Sapien, which is an absolute fucking banger.
Wow.
Yeah. So just, by the way, one of the greatest hip hop names of all time, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. But
That's pretty good. Oh, by the way, Take a Bite Out of Rhyme. It wasn't a mashup, but what it was hardcore bands doing real rap songs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And damn right I owned it.
And wasn't that the one that had Incubus doing Still Not a Player? Was that one?
You know what? That would have fit. It's not, though. This is the one that had Seven Dust doing Going Back to Cali.
Oh,
it had
yes.
Stained and Fred Durst doing Bring the Noise. It had Bloodhound Gang doing It's Tricky. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dope did New Jack Hustler.
That was also
one of their albums.
So where are we now? We're in Best Comedy, right?
Yeah, and the people have spoken in the chat, Ryan. The winner for the Anchorman Award for Best Comedy of the Year goes to Jackass Forever.
Well deserved.
All right, that leads us to the Hoop Dreams Award, which goes annually to the best documentary of the year. So it could be documentary film, documentary series, whatever. The nominees are Bad Vegan, I Am a Stalker, Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off, Untold, The Girlfriend That Didn't Exist. It's the Manti Te'o story.
Yes.
Unrivaled, the 30 for 30 on the Red Wings Avalanche rivalry, and Worst Roommate Ever. I got to go. We did a standalone on Tony Hawk. I got to go with Tony Hawk.
And again, seeing the old skate footage is cool. Talking about skateboarding, as we said in the episode, like I can do that for days. Like I'll talk to you about skateboarding videos and like 90s, 2000 skateboarders forever. But just to see like how, so they did kind of like a deep dive into that. And then just the shit that it was going on now where you're just like, the guy can't stop, like literally like until the wheels fall off. And I'll listen to Rodney Mullen talk forever.
He's
about anything.
Incredible. Yeah.
You know, and how he ends that movie, what he says is remarkable. That's so goddamn. That's kind of an easy one for us.
Yeah, that one has to be. And you know what's funny? I've been listening a lot to the David Spade, Dana Carvey podcast, Fly on the Wall, where they talk about like, you know, SNL and stuff. But early on, one of the first movies David Spade did was Police Academy 2, or was it like 2 or 4?
No, he was 4. He was Citizens on Patrol, where they actually they were in it.
Yeah. So David Spade was like a skater kid, and one of his stunt double was Tony Hawk, and he's like the whole Bones Brigade was in that movie, and so Spade could also skate a little bit. Like he's one of these actors who can skateboard, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like all these guys were in it. It's like pretty hilarious, and he like knows who all of them are. I'm like, pretty good.
Yeah, I remember that. That was and but if you haven't seen my one pitch though, if you haven't seen Unrivaled, the Red Wings Avalanche 30 for 30, holy shit, is that good? Like it's very rare that I remember, because the Avalanche were the Nordiques, they go into it a little bit, but to see a sports rivalry start. And I remember like watching those games. That was like whatever ESPN2 was doing at the time, they would fucking stop and go to a regular season Red Wings Avalanche game because it was going to be an absolute fucking bloodbath every single time.
Dude, I remember that too, because it was that we were in high school, right? That happened. So I remember the same thing where I'm like, all right, I watched a lot of Bruins games, but like out of market NHL games, I'm like, I don't have time for that. But anytime it was Avalanche Red Wings, you're like, you have to see this because like somebody's gonna die.
Yeah. Two people almost fucking did. Yeah.
And the Manti Te'o story, I felt bad for Manti Te'o. And you know me, Ryan, I don't feel bad for many people, but I ended up feeling bad for Manti Te'o in that. That was pretty intense. But Hoop Dreams Award deservedly goes to Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off. All right, what do we have next?
So what we have next is the Darth Vader Award, the best character in a movie of the year, which is a bit of a mouthful, but here we go. And one my favorite, so I added this one in. I know you didn't vote for this, but Jenny the donkey from the Banshee of Inisherin, whenever that little miniature donkey was on screen, electric. Just an absolute powerhouse performance by Jenny the donkey. A house donkey that would just normally just come in the house with a little bell.
Kind of almost made you want to have a donkey.
A little bit that big, not
Like,
a real full size donkey, but a little tiny one.
No, little guy. And when his sister's yelling at him, like no animals in the house, and he's like, yeah, but like when I'm feeling bad, like
She wants company. She just wants company. He says she just wants company. And you see like a head poke in the door.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Get the fuck. Yeah.
So Jenny the donkey from Banshees of Inisherin. Hunter from Metal Lords.
Mm.
That kid, I don't want to get too into it, but like,
yeah,
come on. Like
awesome.
that was his real first acting gig too.
Dude was awesome.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Namor from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Naru from Prey. Is it Naru?
I think Naru, yeah. Naru, the main girl from Prey.
Edward Nygma / the Riddler from The Batman.
Ooh.
And Waymond Wong, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I loved watching Waymond Wong on screen because for half the movie, I thought that they were just saying his name with an accent. I thought it was Raymond. It was not. His name was Waymond.
It's Waymond.
Yeah.
He was awesome in that.
To me,
they all were. This is loaded. These are
loaded.
these are good characters.
For me, for you, the very first when thinking about this category, the very first name I put down was Paul Dano's name for the Riddler.
Yeah,
I thought that was incredibly well done. A character that, like, given the time in which we live, is not out of the question.
No,
like that was pretty and fucking scary downright scary at some point.
Yeah, it was some of the better horror stuff of the year. Was like the opening scene of the Batman.
Yeah,
and just other anytime Edward Nygma was on screen. Dude, I loved Hunter so much. I feel like that movie might not have even been worth mentioning a second time if that kid wasn't good.
No,
and that kid crushed it. He was awesome.
The girl in it was also awesome too, and she would lose her shit.
Yes, she was great.
But I will say that Hunter, one of the funniest, actually probably the funniest moment of any movie this year, was when he was yelling at the security guard.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
How dare you? And the guy just like nut taps him with a nightstick, and he just drops like a fucking bag of dirt.
So that was laugh out loud funny. And then he was so metal. He was so fucking good.
Fucking metal. And
like, Skullfucker was the name of the band.
Yeah,
Skullfucker, and they like was dead set on it and was just obsessed with metal music.
Every once in a while, so the laugh he does when they're in the car chase and they go through the alley. The laugh that comes out of him is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I love this kid. I love him so much.
Fuck it, let's give it to him.
All right, Hunter, well deserved. Hunter from Metal Lords wins the Darth Vader Award for the best character in a movie of the year. All right, this next
you're gonna have to explain some shit here.
I am. The next category is hilarious to me for a couple of reasons. And one, it's how I came up with my three and how Davey came up with his three. But we, of course, are talking about the Jennifer Love Hewitt and Ghost Whisperer Award, which is the Steal a Smooch of the Year award. So any person, place, or thing that was in a show or TV or a show or a movie from 2022, you can vote for. I had characters. Davey just straight up gave a list of 3 actresses. Davey submitted Sydney Sweeney, Alexandra Daddario, Jennifer Holland. I said, okay. My three.
Hang on. All of those are legit.
Of course they are, but there's no like character show movie. There's nothing.
Okay, fine. I can do whatever, Sydney Sweeney in whatever the fucker character's name is in what's that weird, that HBO show, Euphoria.
Yeah.
Alexandra Daddario in The White Lotus, Jennifer Holland, Peacemaker. Boom. There you go. There's
White Lotus. Was White Lotus season
1? Season 1 was
that this year? Season 2 just came out.
I think it was this year.
I don't think so. I went with Bobby Lane Parker from X. That was Brittany Snow.
Yep.
Catwoman in The Batman, played by Zoe Kravitz. And Chili Healer from Bluey. Bluey's
mom.
Steal a Smooch if I could.
Now, I don't think have we done characters or we've done real people in the past? Because this is throwing me a little bit.
Well,
has it always been characters?
Yeah. Now they are. I mean, like, I'll say Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana in Guardians 2 or whatever.
So it's not just real people.
Well,
Have
no,
I been
it's not
misunderstanding this the whole time?
Yeah, it's not like just Google any person and say you want to make out with them. It's a character. Now, oftentimes there's
But
overlap.
the award is, so you have Jennifer Love Hewitt in Ghost Whisperer, but wouldn't you also steal a smooch from Jennifer Love Hewitt and Can't Hardly Wait?
Yeah, but she wouldn't qualify because Can't Hardly Wait came out in 1998.
God damn it. We're hot and cold again.
It is. It's a semantics argument. And that's the real problem. No, I'm just saying your people, with the exception of the Dario, unless she was not in anything, because Holland was in Peacemaker, so that counts. I would just say her character. It's the same idea. Like, we don't know any of these fucking people, as far as I could say.
No.
But Bobby Lynn Parker, I thought was great. Chili Healer, we discussed her on the podcast. This is season 3 of Bluey, which came out this year. She brings it. She's got a real way about her. Catwoman. There's a lot of good. The chat's silent at this point. They don't like.
Yeah, you just nominated like a wholesome cartoon character to steal a smooch from.
I nominated an animated dog, but you got to watch the show.
She's got a nice way about her, as you would say.
Her voice, her mannerisms. She's a MILF.
And a killer bod on her. It's like, Jesus, man, relax.
MILF. She's a dog. Oh, shit. Nice play. Derek, good one. Mon Mothma from Andor.
Too uppity.
You don't like Mon Mothma?
I don't like too uppity for me. Too high class for me.
Christopher's all in on Chili Healer.
All right, relax. He said all in on the animation, which begs the question. Actually, I don't want to see it. Let me see your search history. I don't want to see it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Both of us just straightened our jackets at the same time for okay, we're back. Yeah.
I think we're on a real stalemate here.
You know what? Since I'll play your game, and I will go with Selena Kyle. I will go with Zoe Kravitz in the Batman.
All right.
Now, we get to the Long Halloween Award for the best comic book of the year. I will read, as is my turn, I will read the nominees, and then we'll defer to you since I have read none of these.
Okay.
So here we go. So actually, I have read the first issue of first trade of Philadelphia. So that's the first one. Philadelphia, King Spawn, Nightwing, Rogue Sun, Sacrament, and Vanish.
So we outsourced these to our buddies at the TLDR podcast, Dr. Joe and Fryer. And I have read the first 2 volumes, I think, of Philadelphia. Like the second and third, I believe, came out this year. So I'm a little bit behind on Philadelphia. I've also read most of Sacrament and Vanish, which are excellent. I'm going to give it to, I think you would like both of those, by the way. I think I'm going to go with Vanish, although I haven't read the ending of either yet. So that could be really swing it one way or the other. Sacrament was pretty good. Apparently this Nightwing run has been awesome. Like, it's just been really, really good. And I'll tell you what, the Nightwing on Titans, the TV show, is pretty good. He's a compelling character when done well. If you like Spawn, apparently this King Spawn thing is fucking badass. I'm going to go with Vanish for my winner. But really, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. And again, if you're into comic books and you like seeing what's coming out weekly, you like seeing what's going on, whether it's trades or all that stuff. And these guys talk about more than just Marvel and DC. They do all the indies and all that shit too. So let's go with Vanish for the Long Halloween best comic book of the year. All right, this next one is the Jason Rossi Award, which goes to the worst take of the year.
This is This Week in Horrible Rossi Takes.
All right, Ryan, here's a quote. Halloween Ends was a good enough scary movie.
Shit.
From Jason Rossi.
That's a shit take. For someone who watches as much horror movies as he does.
Yeah, he's a horror movie guy.
But you should know better. That's a dog shit.
It's
fucking dog shit.
It wasn't scary. It was
not scary at all. There was no point in that movie was I frightened.
Here's another one. Somebody said this year, you don't need to brush your teeth before you go to the dentist.
See, this is one that I'm not. I always brush my teeth before I go to the dentist. Let's just you do, right? Because you have to at least, and like a week before, I have a regiment that I use with my water pick. A week before going to the dentist, but you got to at least pretend, right? But I would never go to the dentist having not brushed my teeth. That said, they know. They fucking know when you haven't like been flossing or they can tell.
By the way, that was also a Rossi.
That sucks. But that
was from the of course, Pop Culture Pile Driver podcast, Rossi, Billy D. They took a little hiatus and they came back recently, but those were both said on the Rossi podcast. Here's another one. Dakota Johnson. This is not Rossi, by the way.
This is not Rossi. Yeah.
Dakota Johnson is more famous than Sydney Sweeney. This was said by former producer of the canceled Gresh and Keefe show, John Anderson, who is a fan of the Dork podcast and is leaving the show because he doesn't want to produce a show that I'm not on. So big ups to him. You can't make fun of him anymore.
I absolutely can.
Well, you can make fun of this take for sure.
Yeah.
Because Sydney Sweeney is significantly more famous.
She is on a rocket ship right now. And she is going to be, she's going to be in Marvel movies. She is on a rocket ship right now. And Dakota Johnson, I feel like, was a bit of a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
She literally for 15 minutes. And then you watch 50 Shades of Grey for more than 15 minutes. And you're like, I'm out. I can't.
I don't want that. I don't want that. Now, also in the Jason Rossi Award nominees, everything James Cameron has said about Avatar 2 to this point.
You could also say everything he's ever said ever.
True.
This guy's a dick. Like this guy
seems like it.
He's a dick. And I honestly believe that this movie's going to get good reviews from critics just because of who he is.
Yeah, and it's probably going to look awesome. I'm sure the movie's fine.
Sure it looks great.
Like, it's not one. He was like, it needs to be one of the top 4 highest grossing movies to even make a profit. He's like, I've also thought about what Avatar 6 and 7 are going to be like. But then he like later came back and was saying, well, depending on how these 2 movies do, maybe we won't make a 5th one. And you're like, yeah, no shit.
But then I was reading something. His first cut of this movie was 9 hours long.
Like, dude.
And he made people watch it.
Yeah. And then he also said you can go rip a piss anytime during the movie. The guy
I thought he said you couldn't.
No, he said you could. He's like, yeah, go ahead.
See, I thought he said you couldn't. You'd have to see it again.
No, he said you could. Oh, okay. But he also said, he's like, people are complaining about a movie being 3 hours. He's like, all people do is like binge watch stuff on Netflix for like 8 hours. You're like, dude, they're at their house.
And you can pause it.
You can pause it. You can go use the facility. You can go eat a whole meal of food. You can come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody literally sits on the couch for 10 straight hours. I mean, maybe close, but
there's some who do.
Yeah. Rip a piss.
Yeah.
Touch it. Whatever you want to do.
I'm going to say this right now. The Dakota Johnson is more famous than Sydney Sweeney. That's such a dog shit take.
Okay.
And I feel like there's part of me that every time John says something like this about an actress or just about women in general, he genuinely believes that they're listening to him and want like anytime he talks about Coldplay, anytime he talks about females or just actresses in general, like he genuinely believes that they'll hear it and like reach out to him. So I'm going to say that this is and it's the last time the last time I get to, as the English would say, take the piss.
You can't take the piss.
What?
All right, fine. We you know what? At least he gets to take home a dorky.
That's what I'm saying. We'll give him a dorky. Yeah. So
all right. Congratulations, John. I know this is yours, Rod, but we have visuals for this one.
Okay, so we have visuals for this one. So this is the Monkey Dick Award for the greatest or most compelling should I have bought this of the year.
All right.
And the nominees are, hit me.
Forgive me, I did not write down who sent all these in, but I
forgot this one was this year.
This was early this year. This just fucking ugly troll looking thing.
This ugly goblin troll doll looking thing. And how much was this? Wasn't this like $60 or something?
It was. Yeah, I think it qualified for the thing.
It was over $25. I would not have spent a buffalo nickel on this thing. It's a little troll doll that looks like crusty, scabby skin and just
It's
this thing
horrifying.
and like a dick nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, let's see. Next.
Oh, the Stormbreaker
Yeah.
axe. So this one, and
Thor's
again,
axe. Thing's big too.
it's big. It's what do you say? It's like 5 feet or something like that. Like this
Yeah,
thing's
well, look at he's
pretty
got it
big.
laying in the bed, head to toe here. It's like
And this, we asked about the weight, and I believe he was in the chat at the time. He's like, it's pretty heavy.
it's heavy.
It's not full tang,
No.
but it is a good buy. And it was
That's
like
a
under
nice
$100,
piece.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a good deal on that. So there's Stormbreaker's a good one. Let's see. I think we have
Oh my God.
this one is
Oh my God.
it's a frame that says Ottawa's finest, and it was like 4 shitty Ottawa Senator cards.
Not one Hall of
No.
Famer in the bunch, and it has like all the Ottawa Senators jerseys on it and like 2 pins. And he paid like $200 for this thing or some shit because it was like all framed and mounted and everything. Like,
That stinks.
awful.
Ottawa's finest. We also John Snow's
yeah.
sword.
Yeah.
And it also came with like a little plaque here. Not bad. Night's Watch style. Not bad.
What's this one called? Oathbreaker? No, what's it?
No.
Fang, something Fang, Long Fang, something.
I forget.
I forget. Someone in the chat tell me what's the name of
John
John's
Snow's sword. We asked the same question before.
I think
Yeah,
it's like
Oathbreaker.
no, that was
That's something else.
that was the one that Brienne of Tarth got.
Oh. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this one was very polarizing.
Longclaw, that's right. Yeah.
Longclaw, thank you.
This one was super polarizing because
Now tell
one,
what is it? What is it?
it is the Red Sox WWE style belt. Now where this gets tricky is, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, the person who bought this didn't actually buy it. His brother did, and he's paying his brother back in installments.
That is 100% correct.
Yeah. Which
but
so this technically,
Yeah.
I don't know if this counts because you didn't buy it. But
Well, he did.
Again,
No, he did buy it.
no,
he
I thought
did.
his brother bought it, and then he had to pay his brother back.
But the guy who physically paid the money is the one who sent it in, and he said, "I
okay.
bought it for my brother," and he's like, "He is paying me back," but it was expensive as hell. We gave it a no.
You gave
But
it a
he
no
said-
because it was astronomically expensive.
But he says his brother stands by it, so that's really all that counts.
His
And
brother
then-
loves it, yeah.
And then
Now,
finally,
at the end of this season, will you be sporting a Red Sox championship belt? Because holy shit, are they going to be bad?
no, not this season.
Yeah.
And then finally, Ryan.
Richie Keefe finally got himself a PlayStation 5. The most compelling thing.
Yeah.
The God of War Ragnarok edition, which came with the digital download of the game, which is worth its weight in gold.
Amazing.
Now the category is most compelling.
Yeah.
Now compelling to me can mean several things.
Really
the one that I'm interested, I need to know more about. And I don't know if we got the story. So the most memorable one, I think, would be the troll, little goblin.
No, we did. We got a whole story on it. Remember? And he was like, he got it for his wife, and his like wife knew like the background of it. It's like it actually brings like bad luck. It was like a whole thing.
It was a whole thing, but it was like a troll doll, but it was like an old school troll doll. It's a fucking, this thing's a mess.
Yeah, I think in the chat, speaking up on this as well, we are going to go with the Dick Nose Troll.
We're going to go Dick Nose Troll. That even though I got an explanation, my first question is always just why?
Yeah.
Like why?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's happening? All right, Ryan. The next one is the Ice Cold Brew Dogs Award. Goes to the best brewery of the year. The nominees are Idle Hands, Prison City, Treehouse, and Vitamin C. And again, of course, the host of our live shows gonna go with Idle Hands.
Let's go with Idle Hands. They win it every year. Give it to them. Where's Prison City? Is that Walpole?
Auburn, New York.
Oh, okay.
New York. All right, what do you got? What's next?
The Serial Award for the best podcast of the year. The nominees are Change My Mind, I've Heard It Both Ways, Mac and Goo, The Pop Culture Pile Driver, TLDR, and Jaboys, #Dork. We win. Fuck them kids.
Congratulations to us again.
Congratulations to us again. Fuck them kids.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin Award, Ryan, goes annually to the best wrestler of the year. The nominees are Dax Harwood, who is one half of FTR. He had a bunch of singles matches this year and a bunch of tag matches. Very good. Becky Lynch, MJF, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and Sami Zayn.
So my vote, I know this doesn't count for much. I think this counts for like half a vote because I don't really watch wrestling. But I think Bray Wyatt's fucking cool. And didn't he make it kind of like a big comeback this year?
Yeah.
So I think
I love Bray Wyatt. He's probably my favorite. And he was out for a long time. Then he came back and he's been doing some cool character stuff. It's very cinematic what he does, but it's also been a shorter run in 2021. I think the real answer has got to be Sami Zayn. And so what I'll briefly explain it to you. People who watch wrestling know how good this guy is. He's an incredible, like, actual wrestler. He's the guy that had the match against all the Jackass characters. Carried it. And wrestling carried it. Did everything. He is a part of the Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa. So you have these like Samoan guys, this whole thing. He somehow got his way into there, and he's a straight up comedy routine. Like, he makes those guys laugh when they're not supposed to, like every single episode.
You know what he looks like? I've never seen this person before. He looks like a beefier version of Mike from Dave. You know, Dave's manager, his buddy, the redhead.
Yeah,
he looks like a
long
more
hair
jacked version of him. Yeah,
yeah. He's this Canadian dude, and he puts on great matches when he has a chance. But he is like laugh out loud funny. He's one of the most compelling things on television. So I think it has to go.
So it's like he's kind of like a Spike Dudley in that he's like the third
better, but a better wrestler. Yeah, but like so he's like the joke, like the of like all of this, and then everybody's waiting for him to like turn on them and like bring down the bloodline, because like Roman Reigns has been champ for like 5 years, and like the Usos have been tag champs forever, and then Sami Zayn's just like a part of it, and he's hilarious, but it works because he's not like some asshole wrestler. Like, he's like legit wrestler also. But
yeah,
we'll go give it to Sami Zayn. All right, what do we got?
So we got the King of Kong episode award for the best #Dork episode of the year. Again, wagon.
Yeah.
So we have episode 277, MacGruber TV series.
Ooh,
that was a good one. I had to actually go back and look because it's so we do 52 of these goddamn things, right?
Yep.
So 281, Yellow Jackets. 285, The Batman. 292, Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off. Number 300, and then 311, Woodstock 99 with Quad.
So the reason, real quick, why Yellow Jackets is included is this episode.
Still bad. It has to do with the connection. It has to be the connection because my shit's fine.
So not only is the TV show good, and I thought it was a really good breakdown of said really good TV show, but that was the Davey Deep Dick episode.
And what a legend, what has now become against everything I stand for, has become a legendary episode for us. A landmark episode for #Dork. And again, I think what the killer part about it was, I was so fucking excited to talk about Yellow Jackets, and the whole thing was, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking about plot points and I'm talking about character development. I'm talking about episode by episode. And the whole time, if you watched it on YouTube, Rich just kept laughing the entire time. And I'm trying to make a point, and I was getting so frustrated because I couldn't fix it and I couldn't hear it.
No.
So it was like, it was just like,
yeah.
And I love the name Drop D.
Yeah.
Like Drop D Davey, because it's a guitar thing, and it's whatever. But that's got to be it.
That's got to be it for sure. Yeah, we're gonna give it to the Yellow Jackets, aka Davey Deep Dick, aka Drop D. So, by the
And
way,
I will say,
by
and
the
it's
way,
very difficult. Yeah. So it's very difficult at this point, too. I will say on her behalf. So I talked to Quad a couple times like after the episode, just like on Instagram,
Yeah.
like whatever. What a lovely person she is, too.
It's great.
She's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, she went to college with me. She's good friends with my wife. Yeah, she's
Yep.
fantastic. So I talked to somebody not that long ago who said the deep dick episode was the second episode he ever listened to, and he was hooked immediately. He's like, I'm listening to your podcast now. I'm like, oh, awesome, thanks. He's like, the deep voice. He's like, it got me. And I'm like, all right. I go, you know what? Maybe we'll bring it back on a rainy day.
There is, so we do know now. We do know how to get it back and
Yeah.
how to get rid of it. So there could be, that'll a big market tease. There could be a day where we just decide not to fix it.
Well, because real quick peek behind the curtain, we usually both log in at like 8:44, and then Davey's like, "What's up?" I go, "What's up?" And then we hit play, and like the one day he goes, "What's up?" And I was like, I'm like, sounds a little weird, but fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, and it never happened before. Again, it hasn't happened since, because we know how to fix it now.
Well, but like now you always start. You're like, how do I?
Like, am I good?
Am
I good? You're like, nope, you're deep dicking. You're deep dicking.
And then just quick switch, and then we go.
Yeah.
All right, 2 awards left here. You can't watch everything award, the thing that you missed this year. And again, it's a little bit split. So some of these things I have seen and Davey hasn't, and vice versa. But Avatar 2, with all the discussion, just recently
Has that come out? It just recently came out, right?
Yeah, it just recently came out. But I'm saying
that's not fair. It came out like this fucking week.
I just put it on the goddamn list.
Yeah.
You have to scream at me. Blackbird, which Davey has not seen. I have not seen.
Yeah.
You put Black Panther on the list?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had time.
We did a whole episode on it.
It was Goo. It wasn't me.
Oh my God. Oh, you're
right.
Goo.
Yeah.
Because you.
By the way, I almost nominated that episode for episode of the year. The one I wasn't on.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
When you wrote Black Panther, I'm like, dude. Did he do a whole episode? Did he talk about a movie for an hour he didn't see? I forgot all about it.
By the way, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but I have done that before.
You know what? I could probably figure it out.
You could probably figure it out, but there was.
Oh, that's great.
One episode where I hadn't, and I didn't even tell you, where I hadn't seen the movie, and I did it.
I'll think about it and I'll get back to you.
Yep.
So Pearl, this was X was so good. Davey and I both liked X,
right.
And then they immediately came out with a prequel movie called Pearl, which I've heard is also good. But
I believe didn't they film it at the same time? They just split it into 2 movies. Yeah,
they must have. It came out so quick. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and We Own This City, which is a show I did see, but Davey has not seen. So
I think it's gonna go to Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl. I agree.
By the way, Sonic 2 was good.
Okay.
It was good. But looking at that list, other than Black Panther, like Pearl was the only thing that I really wanted to see and just didn't have time.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta see, especially as a horror guy, like that one's supposed to be good. I gotta see it. So all right, the last award of the night.
The Captain Marvel Award for the most anticipated movie of next year. So this coming calendar year. And again, this is so hard because the movie draft has become almost fucking impossible because everything's getting moved around. Everything gets pushed back. Like COVID fucked everything up. So what we have scheduled to come out this year are Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Evil Dead Rise, which is going to be fucking awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John Wick Chapter 4, Scream 6, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, boy.
That's a lot of heavyweights right there.
That's a pretty good crop right there. And there's a bunch of other ones too that we had to get obviously not on this list. A few other horror movies. There's a few other comic book movies. Man. You know what? Yeah, where do you lean?
Where I lead, and again, I like endings, right? So it has to be James Gunn's final turn in the Marvel Universe and these characters' final turn. It's kind of got to be Guardians, right? Can you think of if this movie's good, can you think of a better trilogy in the MCU? Because all of these are fucking bangers.
No, probably not. Like just straight trilogy. I mean, because Captain America 1 was kind of but then
Right.
Winter Soldier Civil War is fucking pretty great.
Right.
Yeah, no, this would be great because the first one's my favorite, and the second one I thought was fine.
I thought the second one was good. It's better than most.
Yeah, no, two's fine. Two's good.
Mm-hmm.
But Ant-Man, you're getting Kang, and Kang was fucking awesome.
And this is gonna set what I thought Doctor Strange was gonna do. Maybe they held it back because they want Ant-Man, which I don't really like that character. I love Paul Rudd.
See, I like
character. But
so you want to go Guardians?
It's either Ant-Man or Guardians for me.
Ant-Man's Kang. You're getting a better villain in Ant-Man.
Oh hell yeah!
You're getting a much better.
But you get Adam Warlock.
You are getting Warlock and Rocket with the little otter thing.
You're getting an otter. You're getting an otter in Guardians. We don't even know that otter's name.
No, it's gonna have some cute name though. I bet.
Oh, absolutely.
Some really cute name.
Pistol. We call him something cool.
All right, you guys in the chat want to break the tie between Ant-Man and Guardians. Trying to think what else we're getting.
I am not. Someone says we are sleeping on Spider-Verse. I am absolutely not.
Spider-Verse gonna be great.
Thank you very much.
Spider-Verse should be.
I am a little worried though that watching that trailer, it's gonna be a lot. Like that's a lot. There's a lot of Spider-Man there. I went through like everybody did, every website that cataloged every single Spider-Man variant that has been in there. But we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got?
James Gunn's last movie, the MCU, probably.
Yeah. All right. People are going with Guardians. So let's go. The most anticipated movie of next year is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Here's why I think this makes sense, right? Because we kind of know where Quantumania is going. We kind of know that like Kang's going to be involved and this is going to kick off kind of like Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no idea what's going to happen in Guardians 3.
Yeah. That's fair.
So that's why I'm like the anticipation is building because like I've seen like a trailer and a half of this. Yeah. I don't want to see anything else.
No, I'm good.
Don't show me anything else.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm ready to rock on this. So there you go. There are the 2022 Dork Awards, the Dorkies. Let us know what you guys thought. You can email us anytime, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter and Instagram @dorkpodcast. Any final thoughts on the Dorkies, Rye?
I will say, in the video game realm, which is kind of my thing, like kind of a letdown year. I think TV was awesome this year.
That was the best.
TV was, in terms of all the media we consume, I think TV by far was leaps and bounds ahead of anything else. There was a lot of bullshit out there in terms of movies and video games.
Yeah.
I would say huge year for TV. And I'm glad that was the hardest part about this year.
Yeah. Just basing it strictly on our dork scores, there was way more 5+ TV shows than 5+ movies.
And think about this. So we went through this entire thing almost an hour and a half, and we didn't mention Barry once. I think we mentioned it once and we could throw it in there.
Yeah, but
no characters, no episodes, just like.
Yeah, and it was a good season too. It was
a great season.
Really good season. All right, so next week I think we'll be back same time, at least for now, and probably Glass Onion. Want to break that puppy?
Or we could do Avatar.
Probably Glass Onion is what we're gonna end up doing.
Fuck James Cameron. Let's print that on a t-shirt too.
We both do Avatar. Neither one of us have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the blue guy slapped the other blue guy, and then they took a little.
They were shooting bows and arrows, but the other guys were using guns. Great.
Not fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
they're bigger and their bones are made of carbon or some shit. I don't know.
Don't swear. Oh my God. What game show have you ever seen that had swearing in it?
Most anticipated TV show of 2023.
That should be a contest, and I would say I think you should leave season 3, but The Last of Us, pretty close.
Yeah, but I think you should leave season. That's going to be a standalone episode, and I cannot wait for it. That might be the most anticipated Dork episode.
Oh, good one.
Of the 2023 year.
No doubt. No doubt. I think you should leave.
That's going to be a category.
Most anticipated Dork episode. Yes.
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 Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Next year we'll do a better job. I promise. The 7th annual ones, we'll have music. We'll have
We'll finally figure it out.
new awards. We'll have the whole thing figured out, but that'll do it for us. Check us out wherever you can. Subscribe on YouTube as well. And we'll let you know what the future of #Dork is as far as scheduling and all that stuff. But fear not, we will still continue to make the podcast. Thanks everybody for listening. And Ra, you don't give a shit about anything, do you?
What'd you say?
I said you don't give a shit about anything, do you?
Not really.